and I've got a double standing in his Roman leather armor and tunic. He's standing waist deep in wheat, and he's actually stroking the corn, the wheat or the corn like that. Waist deep in wheat, stroking the corn. Waist deep in wheat, stroking the corn, the wheat or the corn like that. Stroking the corn, waist deep in wheat, and if you stand with, you almost certainly stroking the corn. Do that, and I was watching that and thinking, waist deep in wheat. Right, there's the opening shot of the movie.
This is Sparta, Athenians, and we'll fight in the shade. I'm a Spartan. I'm sure you'll agree. And that's the funny Gladiator episode. Time to go to bed. Goodbye. And that's the end. Goodbye.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Sweet dreams.
Honk shoe. Honk shoe.
Those who are about to pod, salute you.
Me. Do you honk shoe, or do you go honk me?
I don't know. I think it's a toss up whether or not I snore on any given night.
Right.
Maybe it has to do if I'm sleeping on my back or on my side.
If you've been drinking.
If I've been drinking.
If you've been drinking too much wine. That's what the Romans drank.
If I've been powdering my nose. No, I'm just joking. I don't touch that stuff.
That's what the Romans did.
Yeah.
You did that the other night, I bet, didn't you?
No.
Yeah, that's right. I'm going to grill you now.
No, I didn't.
Great. Good for you.
I don't touch that stuff.
Me neither.
Sleep, not for me. I don't snore because I don't sleep.
Me neither. Too busy flighting in the gladiator ring. All right, let's restart the entire show.
Yeah.
Let's restart the entire
Scratch
show.
that.
Yeah. Okay.
This is a free pod.
No, I'm serious. We're restarting the entire show. Okay.
Waist deep in wheat.
Those who are about to pod, salute you.
This is Sparta! There, I got it. I did it. I said it right.
Yeah.
We'll fight in the shade. Daniel Plainview. He says Daniel Plainview.
You said it right.
I said it right. Yeah. This is my son and partner, Sparta.
This is my son and Gladiator, Gladiator Plainview.
This is my son and Gladiator, Maximus Decimus Meridius, or whatever. Isn't that what he says?
Yeah.
That's his name, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maximus Decimus Meridius, father of a slain H.W. Plainview.
Yes.
Husband to a slain H.W. Plainview.
Yes.
And soldier in Marcus Aurelius's army or something. That's essentially the monologue.
Yes.
Badass moment in a movie filled with badass moments.
Yeah, this is going to be a real badass moments episode where we are going to tell you all of the top 10 most badass moments in Gladiator 2000, directed by Ridley Scott. Number one most badass moment. I guess we shouldn't spoil the number one. Let's just go right ahead to the number one most badass moment.
When Joaquin Phoenix stabs him in the back.
Yeah.
Before they fight.
I was literally about to say that.
I was rooting for Joaquin Phoenix the whole movie.
Yeah. I when he stabbed him in the back, I was like, oh, that's good. That'll give him an advantage. Like, that's really smart. Yeah, that's smart. Because otherwise, I just on sheer fighting skill and brute force, he probably doesn't have much of a chance.
Yeah. They should have shot that scene like the black and white infrared Coliseum scene in Dune 2.
That would have been cool.
Yeah. That would have been cooler than what it was.
Yeah. Gladiator.
Mega hit.
Yeah. Huge
Mega
hit. Huge hit. Best picture winner. Yeah. Best actor winner, which is funny.
Well deserved.
I feel like it is a makeup award for The Insider.
Right.
Which is his really, really good kind of like, who is this guy kind of performance.
Who is this Australian?
Who is this Australian man? Yeah.
Sauntering into Hollywood.
But not the winner for Best Director. Ridley goes unawarded. Do you know who won that year?
Good.
Yeah. Do you know who won?
Wasn't it like Soderbergh for, was it Traffic or Erin Brockovich?
Yeah. Yeah. Traffic Brocco.
Bart Traffic Fink.
We're so screwed.
We're cooked.
We're cooked.
This episode is cooked. Should we restart it again?
Yeah, we should restart it one more time. Okay. Let's start it again. Okay. You know how to you know how to
Yeah.
Stroking the corn.
I like Traffic.
That's going to be the start of the episode?
I like traffic.
But people are going to be what are people going to think we're talking about?
You're not actually going to cut that last part out.
No, we're restarting again at least one more time.
Yeah.
Okay. This is traffic.
Yeah, he said it the right way.
Okay, finally.
He finally said it the right way.
That's how they open the envelope for the best director.
We will fight in the shade.
Yeah.
I guess we're going to fight in the shade.
That's what they say. That's how they sound in Traffic.
Yep.
All the British characters. This is I'm sorry. We've just been podcasting too much. I'm down in the dumps. My back hurts.
Mm-hmm.
I can't be funny right now or informative.
No, life feels very bleak at the moment.
Yeah, the impending U.S. election, which by the time you listen to this, will be
happen.
well ahead of time. Yeah.
USA, 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 USA.
Waist deep in wheat.
It's a tough time in the lives of the franchisees.
Yeah.
Should we just end it?
The whole show?
Our lives?
Our lives?
Yeah.
Live on mic?
Would that get us hits?
Gladiator Suicide Pact?
Yeah. Are you not entertained?
Yeah. Our last words. Yeah. I don't know. I think that would probably make the most epic Gladiator moments YouTube video, probably at the number 2 or 3 spot.
Yeah, okay.
All right.
I'm down.
All right. Well, we'll think about that. We'll consider that for the end of the episode.
Yeah. Did you watch anything in the meantime?
My phone's over there. I'm so lazy. This is the last episode of the show.
I can just I'll pull up your letterbox.
I'm telling you. Yeah, tell me what I watched. Tell me what I watched.
you just
I can't
fire,
move.
give it back to me.
Yeah, tell me I
know.
can't move. I can't move my frickin' back.
Okay, what the frick was your name on Letterboxd?
Ben
again?
_ Turnbull.
Wasn't it like
It's Ben _ Turnbull. I'm so sorry, everybody.
Tarantino fan 69?
No, shut the fuck up. It's a piece of shit. Get the fuck out of here.
Okay, what was the last?
My back.
Low energy warning. Low energy warning.
Why do you make me do this?
You said according to this.
Yeah.
According to this, Mr. Turnbull. Have you or do you know anyone who's ever watched I'm Dangerous Tonight?
I did watch that, the Tobe Hooper movie. It's about an evil dress. Honestly, not one of his best. But if you're watching it as a Hooper completionist, that would be the reason to watch it.
Oh, it says here you also watched Oddity, but you were kind of mid on it.
Oh, yeah, I did watch Oddity. I thought it was okay.
Yeah,
I thought it was perfectly okay. I think there were some scares. There was certainly some tension.
Yeah,
created. Definitely,
I really like how he created and sustained tension. And then when you have a jump scare at the end of that, I don't know, it just doesn't feel as cheap because you've been tense.
Yeah, I just, I guess I just maybe didn't find the story super compelling.
Yeah,
I don't know. When the weird sister showed up with the weird wooden mannequin, I was like, all right,
yeah.
like okay, here he is.
Yeah,
but
compared to like a lot of the horror schlock that's come out this year, it still is like I think my favorite horror film of 2024 at this point. I haven't really seen anything that's yet to top it.
My favorite horror film of 2024 is The
Sound of Fear.
The U.S. election. Oh. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. Mine is
boy.
The 2024 New York Jets.
Hey, yeah, I still don't really understand, but I'm sure that is also accurate. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
What else?
What else did I watch? Yeah, tell me. I'm sure there's some other stuff.
The Fly 2.
Oh yeah, The Fly 2. Let me tell you, it's no The Fly. I'll tell you that.
Few things can be.
I'll tell you that. It's directed by a special effects guy, so the special effects are really good. Like when he turns into the Fly, he's much more like mobile as the Fly. The Fly is the Fly, and The Fly 2 is kind of cool. And the ending is really gnarly as well.
No, that's good.
Other than that, Eric Stoltz is Son of the Fly. Can I tell you something about The Fly 2? Mm-hmm. At the end of The Fly 2, because he's Son of the Fly, he's got mutant fly DNA, and eventually he's going to turn into the Fly. So he starts turning into the Fly, right? He turns into the Fly. He grabs the bad guy, the human bad guy. He takes him into the telepod. So it's the Fly and human bad guy. He takes him into the telepod, and they press a sequence where all of the bad Fly DNA goes into the bad guy, and then so he's a disgusting worm creature, and Eric Stoltz is like a brand new human baby, but adult Eric Stoltz, like just covered in muck, and he's perfectly fine and human now. Like, you know what I mean? That's all it took, like to turn you back. To reverse the Fly, you just have to like grab another guy and go back in, and give him all the bad Fly DNA. I don't know. It seemed kind of simplistic to me.
That's unfortunate for the human antagonist, but it sounds kind of funny.
Yeah, the ending is really gross, actually.
Nice.
Yeah.
It says here you gave 4 stars to the new Salem's Lot, so you must have really liked that new Salem's Lot.
No, that's the old Salem's Lot, you fucking idiot. You're stupid. You're a stupid piece of shit.
2024.
No, it doesn't say that.
The review starts, I really like this new adaptation of Salem's Lot.
It does not say that.
Well, how would you know? You don't have your phone. Go get your phone.
He's lying. He's all right. He's making me stand up.
It's okay.
My back. Ow. Ow, it hurts. Ow, why would you make me do that?
You didn't actually have to.
Yeah, I did have to, actually, because you were being mean to me.
Are you not entertained?
You're being mean. You're hurting me. Help, Alex is hurting me. Alex is hurting me. Okay, hang on. I can give you podcast content. I'm still good. I got it. I can still podcast even when I'm feeling bad. Hang on. Interesting. Of all the ones you mentioned, you didn't mention the one that was the weirdest, the vampire quadicuck. Vampire cuck.
Aquatic vampire cucks?
Quad day cuck. I don't know how to say
I was
that
working
word.
my way up to that one.
Oh,
as
sure
the most
you were.
Recent one.
Yeah, Day of the Dead, Halloween 3, Season of the Witch. I talked about most of these, right? I'm pretty sure I talked about most of these.
Yeah, that's why I was covering the ones you hadn't.
You're good. You're good. You're a good podcaster.
So Old Salem's Lot is fine.
Old Salem's Lot is really good.
Okay.
Old Salem's Lot, another Tobe Hooper joint. I'd really recommend it. Like if you're looking for a spooky time. I know it's November now, but it's really, really, really good.
I mean, by the time this comes out, is it even still November? Is No Nut Ingmar Bergman November over?
No, No Nut November continues.
For like a week?
Gladiator 2 comes out at the end of November.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I hope everyone hasn't nutted yet and is watching plenty of Bergman.
I would say if you haven't nutted yet, just stay strong and don't do it. Like you're almost in the clear, right?
Yeah,
you made it this far, just keep going.
Stroking the corn.
It's going to be a white Christmas.
as they say. What have you been watching?
Well, what about Vampire Quadicuck?
Oh, now he asks. Now he asks. Interesting. Very interesting. I have to pull my phone back up. Ow, my back. Jess Franco, Count Dracula from 1970, that I watched, that is generally considered to be kind of not super great and was pretty clunky. And, there's some... I like Christopher Lee as Dracula, regardless of the film that he's playing him in. I guess the only real innovation or twist on the kind of regular Dracula story is that in this one, he is an older man who gets younger, as in Bram Stoker's Dracula, right?
Cool.
As in Francis Ford Coppola's Bram Stoker's Dracula. But anyway, on the set of that movie, how do you say his name? Pierre Portobello made this behind the scenes movie that is also basically turns it into this kind of silent film, art film version of the film, like a behind the scenes movie that is that takes a movie that is pretty bad and turns it into this epic, kind of mythic silent film / political commentary on the Franco regime Slash, also it's funny that the director's name is also Ensign Franco. Slash, kind of deconstruction of the vampire myth. It's really cool. It's I would definitely recommend that to people. You don't have to have watched the Count Dracula from 1970 before you watch this, but obviously it would help. Like, context would help. But I can't imagine if you're the kind of person who's interested in watching Quaticuck Vampire. I do not know how to say it properly. Excuse me. Then you're probably also the kind of person who's like, well, I might as well check out the Jess Franco film too. Klaus Kinski plays Renfield in that one, and there's
fun.
some great scenes of him in a padded room eating flies. Like, so
great.
That's worth it.
So Vampire Quaticuck is this like silent film made from the behind the scenes footage of this other film?
Yeah, sort of.
Interesting.
Yeah. Sort of. It's like when
they come out with like Jackass 2.5.
Yeah, it's kind of like Jackass 2.5. It's also like when Guy Madden made Bring Me the Head of Tim Horton on the set of Paul Gross's Hyena Road. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Nope.
No. It's kind of like that.
Okay.
Yeah. What have you been watching?
Not much that we haven't mentioned in some shape or form on the podcast. A lot of those movies in the horror film marathon. I briefly mentioned 5 Easy Pieces. Pretty good movie. We want to do your sandwich bit about going to the subway. It's Jack Nicholson from 5 Easy Pieces, and he's in the subway.
I don't need to do the bit now. That's
It's a pretty good bit. There's a scene where he deconstructs the sandwich to get a piece of toast.
It's a pretty good bit.
But he goes into a Subway to get like a loaf of bread. But he can't just buy the loaf of bread, so he like makes and tops a totally stacked like Italian BMT.
And then they won't let him. They won't let 5 Easy Pieces Jack Nicholson. They won't. What's his character's name? 5?
Bobby.
Bob Easy Pieces. They won't let Bob. They won't let his name is Bob Pieces.
Yeah.
And
that's why the movie's called that.
Yeah, and Bob of course means 5 in Aramaic, and
like a Bob.
And his nickname is Easy, so he's Bob Easy Pieces.
Yep.
So Bob Easy Pieces goes into a Subway sandwich shop, and he wants to buy a loaf of Italian urban cheese bread, but they won't let him. They say, sorry, the bread is for the sandwiches only. So then he's like, okay, well, I'll get an Italian BMT with cheese, toasted, lettuce, tomato, pickles, onions, both kinds of olives, jalapeno.
Sub-sauce.
Yeah, I'll get sub sauce. I'll get the garlic aioli. I'll get the chipotle. And he loads it up, right? He's like, actually, you know what? I'll get extra meat. I'll get extra cheese. And then he's like, and how about you take those olives and you shove them up your bunghole? And how about you take that Italian big meaty taste and you put it between your butt cheeks? And how about and he goes down until they just give him the bread. And that's the 5 Easy Pieces Subway joke.
Hold on. Step on the brake. Pump the brakes a bit there, Bob Raffleson. BMT stands for Big Meaty Taste.
Yeah. Yeah. I slipped that in just to see if you'd catch that. But Italian BMT, the trademark, the brand, it's a trademarked sandwich name from the Subway Corp. It stands for Big Meaty Taste. What else would it stand for?
I don't know.
Yeah, I know.
Bacon,
you think
mozzarella, tomato.
Yeah, but it doesn't have any of those things on it. It stands for Big Meaty Taste.
Yeah.
Yeah, you like that?
I guess that makes sense.
Yeah.
So anyway, good movie. Good movie, better bit. And then I also watched new release alert, Conclave with Ray Fiennes and John Lithgow and not Jonathan Pryce. Ray Fiennes. Oh, what's his name? Stanley Tucci. The Tooch. I described it as like a perfectly cromulent airplane movie. It's 2 hours. You'll put it on. You'll be pretty engaged throughout it. It's like kind of high stakes because I guess they're voting for the new pope, but it's not really. It's more of a gentle thriller. There's no big like diabolical twists and turns. Like there are twists and turns, but
no spoilers.
It all felt like pretty cash to me, which I'm all for. I'm a big proponent of bringing back adult contemporary cinema. big mainstream adult contemporary cinema.
Is it boring? It looks boring. Is it boring or no?
It's not. I was lightly engaged, but I did.
Yeah, that's okay. Lightly is good.
It's a great airplane movie. Once it's over, you're going to be 2 hours closer to your destination, and you're not going to feel swindled for having watched it. It's fine. It's Conclave.
Mm-hmm.
It's Gladiator. It's an intellectual gladiatorial match between the greatest acting minds of our generation portraying cardinals and bishops and whatever else, other kinds of religious figures.
You saw Nora as well, right? We already talked about it.
We spoke about it.
We spoke about it.
Yeah. Have you seen it yet?
No.
Oh. How's that donut?
I just want to fucking die. I want to die.
Me too. I really do. I'm kind of tired of the slings and arrows of life.
This is the most depressing episode ever.
I took it back to Paul Gross. He was on that Canadian show.
Slings and Arrows. Yeah.
He's going to be starring in a stage production of Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf in the new year that I'd be down to go see if you wanted to check out some live theater.
Yeah. I like theater. I like the theater.
Yeah, you like it whenever the stars of Lord of the Rings are in it. I
I only like theater when someone famous is in it.
Yeah, Paul Gross.
Really stretching the definition. I like the movie Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf, and I assume the play would be even better.
It's a good play.
It's a good play. And I would like to see it. And the fact that Paul Gross is in it, as opposed to just some other random
Canadian theater
actor I've never heard of.
Lame.
I think that dials up my interest.
Yeah.
And I'm being real with you. Probably 7 to 10%. Right? Which is not nothing.
No.
It's not a big deal for me to see Paul Gross.
No.
I would have been happy to go my life without seeing him necessarily. But I do like that combination of that play as well. I am going to a Canadian play featuring an actor. I'm going to go see it's a play called Playing Shylock, which is like a one-man show about the politics of I think it's a little bit about cancel culture. It's a little bit about the politics of playing Merchant of Venice and Shylock and anti-Semitism and things like that. The play itself, this is the opposite of this case, where I would go to see that because I like that. I would go to see Virginia Woolf because I like that play. I don't really care that Paul Gross is in it. In this case, I probably wouldn't go see a play like this because the idea of a one-man show of it being the kids these days and their dang phones and they're too sensitive. I'm not saying that's what it's about. I'm just saying that the description of it makes it sound like it could be about that.
Right.
But
you're going because it's Al Pacino.
I'm going, because
Shylock in a movie.
Al Pacino is coming for his Canadian stage debut. No, I wish. It's a couple steps down from Al Pacino.
Do you want to guess? Did you ever see The Merchant of Venice that he was in? Were you Shylock?
They showed it to us in school.
Nice.
Yeah, it's okay.
If you prick us, do we not bleed?
I know, he is Italian.
If you poison us, do we not die? Whole.
That's pretty good. Yeah. A pound of flesh. Hooah. Hooah. Where would you take it from? I told this story before.
My ass.
Yeah. Our teacher who taught us that was obsessed with that pound of flesh thing. Yeah. He kept asking us where we take it from,
Oh, same teacher.
Yeah, same teacher. Yeah,
same teacher
guy.
who loved Scent of a Woman.
No, different teacher.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So, okay.
That would
have been hilarious if it was the same teacher.
No. Drama teacher loved Scent of a Woman and Al Pacino.
And
teacher who showed us Merchant of Venice was really into the idea of a pound of flesh. And he's like, you just don't know, that's a lot of flesh. And he insinuated that the men would castrate ourselves.
Yeah. Yeah, right.
And he's like, he was trying to make a joke it might not weigh a pound, something like that, right?
Yeah.
But it's that joke only works that would be the last place people would want to take it. There's so many other places you could take a pound of flesh from.
Yeah, weird
joke.
joke.
The ass. Yeah, the ass is definitely the number one spot.
Ass is a big contender for sure.
Yeah, for sure. No, do you know what it's? I'll give you a hint. It's a Canadian actor,
Okay.
but it's a famous actor. But also, I don't think it's somebody you know.
A famous Canadian actor.
Yeah,
but it's someone I might not know. Who you think I might not know?
Well, like this is what I mean. Relatively famous.
Relatively famous.
As in was in a lot of major Hollywood movies.
So would you say like less famous than Colin Mockery?
Oh, I mean, well, yeah, probably
Less famous than Colin Mockery.
because Colin Mockery was on popular TV and everyone knows that.
Right.
This guy was in a movie. I'll give you a hint. This guy's in a movie that was like won Best Picture. But he's not the lead. He's always a character actor.
Is it the guy who played the captain on Titanic?
No.
William Fichtner?
No. Is he Canadian?
No, probably not.
No, we're talking about Saul Rubinek.
Oh, Saul Rubinek.
Yeah,
of
okay,
course.
good.
What was he in that one Best Picture?
Unforgiven.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Clint Eastwood.
Your favorite. Juror number 2.
Juror number 2.
Imminent.
Juror number 2, can't wait to see it.
Yeah.
Shit. Has anyone made that? Has anyone made that joke? All right, because G.I. Jane 2, can't wait to see it. Juror number 2, can't wait to see it. Fuck, god damn it! Where's my fucking phone? We gotta blast it out right now. It has to be blasted out. Someone has to blast it out. Oh, we are gonna kill ourselves at the end of this show. This is it. This is it.
That makes me happy.
It takes a bit of the pressure off.
Did you look up that joke?
Oh, I just tweeted it. Juror number 2, can't wait to see it.
I don't even get it.
G.I. Jane 2, can't wait to see it. That's an essential part of the Chris Rock slap incident.
Right. You want to go on another 10-minute?
No, I don't have the energy. I have the opposite of energy. Yeah, sorry.
That's a good question. What is the opposite of energy?
This is the last episode of the show. This is the last episode. I've said it before, but this is the last one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, it'll be hard to do the episode. It'll be hard to do the podcast when we're dead.
Yeah, that's true. Well, that's enough about us. Let's talk about the movie Gladiator.
Good friend, Gladiator.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained?
Waist deep in wheat.
Mega hit.
Yes.
Conquered the box office, conquered the Academy Awards.
Yes, but not Best Director. Do you know who won?
Steven Soderbergh for Traffic.
That's right.
A movie that's super on the nose.
Let me be Traffic. This is my Traffic and Traffic.
But I actually really like Traffic.
I haven't seen it.
It's melodramatic and sensational, but I have a lot of fun watching Traffic.
A lot of fun watching Traffic?
Yeah.
Isn't it about drugs?
Yeah. But then it kicked off that whole wave of like interwoven story movies.
Hyperweb cinema or whatever. Yeah. Or hyperlink cinema.
It's fun.
13 conversations.
Are you not entertained?
Gladiator kicked off a whole wave of epic kind of battle movies. Sword and Sandal revival.
Oh, yeah.
Although I guess like Lord of the Rings kind of did too, but that was probably already in production.
It was in production, yeah, but it came out after.
And of course, Lord of the Rings not based on historical figures.
No, that's true. Gladiator, based on everything that happened in Gladiator, happened.
That's true.
And it will happen again, and sooner than you think. Gladiator 2 coming out end of the month. I watched this movie for the first time, probably at a friend's house, possibly at a sleepover, possibly just hanging out on a VHS tape. I had heard about it. I had watched the Oscars. I had seen it win the Oscars. My mom really liked it, but it was like, still like maybe a little too violent for me to watch, for me to handle or be allowed to watch. I don't know.
Yeah, I watched it with my parents. On the movie network.
Yeah.
Like after the movie network was kind of like Canada's HBO. So after a movie was done in theaters, but maybe it was like a new release on home video, it would like play on this channel first before making it onto like normal cable. And I remember watching it with them. So it was commercial free and everything and uncut. And I just thought it was funny that like my parents, because I don't know, reached the movie network maybe like a year, 6 months after a theatrical run. So maybe I was like 10 or 11. And it was a pretty violent movie. But it was the kind of movie, because it won the Oscars, I guess, and is like a historical epic, that your parents would just be like, yeah, you should watch this. It's educational. Or
well,
like, this is art, this is a good quality. This is better than that Austin Powers shit you like watching so much.
Sure. A similar thing. Yeah. Like you remember we're talking about my parents being like, you should watch Passion of the Christ. Like, it's actually really important, or whatever. Yeah. And, or like, it's actually like it's an interesting film, and you watch it and you're like, oh yeah, interesting.
Gladiator felt important.
It did.
A kid at the time.
Did. It felt important. It felt, and I think, watching it last night, not paying as much attention as I certainly could have been. And also, I have a Blu-ray of it kicking around somewhere, but no, I could not find it. I watched it the way that probably 90% of the audience that watches Gladiator now watches it, on Netflix, with a brief ad break or two. Not that bad. I didn't know. I don't have Netflix. I'm borrowing someone's account.
Yeah.
I don't want Netflix to know. I can't say Jordana's name on the podcast or they'll find me. I think, watching it last night, I was kind of just like waiting for some of the greatest hits moments that I had remembered as a kid, which honestly were mostly impactful moments of violence.
Yeah.
And a lot of the stuff, the intrigue in between and the whole story, like, I don't know, I felt pretty disengaged with.
Yeah. And the hits don't hit as hard.
Well, no, because we're pretty jaded now, I guess. Seen all this stuff a million times. But I can see why it was such a big deal. It is similar, and this is funny because I think that Blu-ray I have is like it's a triple pack of like Saving Private Ryan, Braveheart, and this.
That's like a perfect thematic trilogy pairing. Tripling.
I think all three of those movies have a lot in common. Actually,
yeah.
Braveheart, I can see if you went into this is the other thing too, is like, I've never seen Gladiator in the theater. I bet when it came out and people went to see it in the theater, it felt like a really great kind of throwback spectacle, like Hollywood epic cinema.
Yeah.
And I feel that same way. I hear stories of people who saw Braveheart that same way. And despite that being like maybe an even cheesier, a sillier movie in a lot of ways than this one, I hear stories of people being like, no, at the time, like, this felt like a really big, like the perfect sort of 90s version of an old studio epic, And Saving Private Ryan is slightly different, and I think maybe more respected than either of those two, at least on a technical level, especially the beginning sequence, right? The Omaha Beach sequence. But there's something that I think that sort of unites all of them. Maybe, and that is that they are grand scale Hollywood epics.
Yeah.
They're also melodramas, right?
Yeah.
And they also, I think, Braveheart maybe not quite as much as the other two, but they are coming at this kind of turn of the century in Hollywood, where epics of this size and films of this size are starting to use computer technology in CGI in an important way, not just for fantastical space battles and other things like that, but for
enhance the environments.
Exactly. And Gladiator, I remember even just watching it on a crappy old CRT TV. On a cropped VHS. And actually similarly, probably at that same friend's house, watching also on VHS, The Phantom Menace, which is another movie that bridges that gap, like that Hollywood filmmaking, like kind of millennium gap of a highly like expensive, practical, big sets, but also lots of computer generated stuff.
We could do more with CGI than ever before.
Yeah. And I remember feeling like when you see those shots of Rome and you see the shots of the Colosseum and it's like, wow, like I've never seen anything at the scale, and of course history of cinema is full of stuff like that. Back to like Intolerance or something, you could see all the Babylon sequences and that, but as a kid you don't have that as a frame of reference. And also it is totally different, like seeing how the scale has like moved up so dramatically in like a movie like that, or a movie like Saving Private Ryan as well. Like that movie, some of the better moments are intimate moments that don't require like a large scope, like all the little character moments between all the different guys.
Edward Burns,
of course. Yeah. Who's that pervert? Tom Sizemore. Rest in peace. There's a couple of shots where you see like after they've taken the beach, you see the full like scope of the operation. That's this huge like kind of what in the olden days would have been like just a matte shot, which is now like a computer assisted matte shot.
Yeah.
Right? And all the bullets whizzing by and all the and then also the advances in sound design, and this feels just like a very big version of all those old biblical epics or Spartacus or whatever.
Well, we're not here to talk about Saving Private Ryan, buddy.
You're right.
We're here to talk about Gladiator.
Yeah, I don't really like either of these. I don't really like any of these movies, honestly.
Yeah.
I
you were saying like it was a big important film. People were like, "This is cinema and stuff." I was watching it, and I'd love to go back in time. I love to go back in time for many reasons. Chiefly among them, to smother myself in my own crib.
Butterfly. What's the butterfly effect? Mm-hmm. There's is it the deleted scene or is it actually in the movie? I don't remember, but he goes back in time to himself as a fetus in the womb, and he wraps the umbilical cord around himself and chokes himself.
I think that might be a deleted scene. And in the final product, he just tells Amy Smart, to fuck off or something. Mm-hmm. Anyway, we could do that. That's a French.
It's a huge French.
Huge French. But I want to go back and talk to like adults at that time, because watching it as an adult, I'm like, yeah, this is as violent as it is or whatever. It's kind of the perfect movie for like 13-year-olds. You know what I mean? It kind of it does remind me of, in one of the intros you referenced 300, and obviously
this is 300.
It's not as comical or comic-y and lurid and smutty as 300, but its thrills are in the same kind of vein as it. Like the interpersonal drama, I think vastly is underbaked and doesn't like really work or is that effective for me. And the moments that were kind of impressive are the big kind of Colosseum battles and violent fights, which also, like, watching it as an adult now, I'm like, I don't know. I don't think these are like, they're shot nicely. The production design is really nice, but it's not the greatest choreography and photography of fight scenes. Like, I remember being a kid and thinking that opening battle with those Germanic barbarians was like so fucking epic, like so sick.
Sure.
And now watching it, they use a lot of that technique that was around in the era. Like Lord of the Rings uses it too, but I think to better effect, is that kind of like not a lot of frame photography, like skipped frames kind of thing.
This movie has a lot of that.
What is that called? Like, what is that technique even called?
It's called the Turnbull method.
No, the Turnbull method is how you
I forgot.
Uncouple a human centipede.
I completely forgot.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's like it's a frame rate thing, right? I don't know if it's under cranking or whatever. No, I think or maybe it is a post production thing, like where you just like.
But it makes for kind of like a choppy viewing experience of this big battle.
Yeah, I think that is just one of those aesthetic choices that feels dated now, because films don't do that as much anymore. That was a big thing at the time in Ridley Scott and in Tony Scott movies as well. What are some other movies that remind me of that? I mean, those are the main ones, but yeah, that's one of those things that as a choice feels dated, which is funny.
So yeah, like I wonder if I were to have watched Gladiator when it came out as an adult, would I have still been as enamored with it? Because a lot of people like our age and older like love this movie. They love it.
Yeah, my mom really likes this movie quite a bit.
Yeah.
And talking to her about it, I think it's just that I think she likes that period in history, just finds it interesting, right?
Sure.
She likes.
Your mom's a bro. She loves the Roman Empire.
She likes the Roman. She spends a lot of time thinking about the Roman Empire. I think she likes that type of melodramatic intrigue and and those sorts of like I remember we were watching Game of Thrones together back in the day, and she likes that sort of thing. Bit of that. I
mean, the bit of that's in it is pretty thin.
Yeah, it is. It
Richard Jenkins, the original Dumbledore,
Richard Jenkins?
What's his name?
Richard Harris.
Richard Harris. I'm so bad at this.
He's dead.
He is dead. R.I.P. He's Marcus Aurelius, the emperor, and they're on a conquest of Germania. And it's so funny because like these are the heroes, but they're just conquerors. And Russell Crowe, he's kind of hip to that, and he's like, "Wouldn't you fight back if you were being conquered?" Or something
woke,
like that.
yeah.
He's a bit woke.
Yeah.
But they're still fascist conquerors.
Yeah.
And Marcus Aurelius is dying, and his son is a bit of a fop. It's Joaquin Phoenix.
Yes, he's foppish. Yeah, Commodus.
He doesn't want Commodus to inherit the empire, and he wants Rome to transition back to democracy. So he decides to give Russell Crowe power in like overseeing that. Commodus doesn't like that, so he kills Richard Dreyfuss Jenkins Harris and sets the guards upon Maximus, even though he's like a war hero, and he basically won this campaign. And like instantly, Russell Crowe's second in command, like Quintus, is this guy who like turns on him, and then he has like a moment at the end where he's back on Maximus's side, and that just kind of irked me because he turns on him. It's such a dime, But
yeah, this is Rome, though.
It's Rome.
Yeah.
So they go to execute Russell Crowe. He escapes because he's such a badass. I remember kids finding that line very badass when they're about to execute him, and he's like, "The frost causes the sword hilt to stick in the scabbard," or something like that.
Yeah, done it, in it. Yeah. Oh, you're dead now, aren't you? Yeah.
Dispatches them brutally.
Yeah.
Tries to go back to his family who've been crucified. And ends up
yes, I had to rewind it a couple times watching his son get run over by the horses because it's like bonk.
Yeah,
they really bonk him.
It's they show you it, so kudos.
They kill his family.
He's just like wandering the wasteland like Mad Max, and eventually gets picked up and sold into slavery, where he's taken to what's now like modern day Algeria or something. So quite a long journey. Where he is bought by Oliver Reed, who is great. Love Oliver Reed. He
his very last film.
Yeah, he has so many great lines, and one of the first thing he says is he buys the slaves off of Ahmed Jalihi, great British actor from The Mummy.
Oh, yeah.
And Oliver Reed says something like, "You sold me queer giraffes."
Yeah, he's got a lot of lines like that.
He's pretty hammy, but it's fun.
It's great. It's really cool that you have. So this is the other thing I think actually people like about it, and definitely what my mom likes about it is seeing those. It really feels like the kind of like a bridge film, right? Like you have Derek Jacobi, you have Richard Harris, you have Oliver Reed. Not necessarily Derek Jacobi, obviously in a lot of the Romans sort of stuff, like I Claudius and other things like that. But and not so much the other two, but you have all these great old Hollywood actors who would be in these epic films, right? And who would be in these sort of stodgy movies, in the kind of last movie for them, or among the last movies for them, which is also the start of a new type of epic, Hollywood epic, like larger scale Hollywood epic.
Yeah. And
I appreciated it as this sort of like bridge film a little bit between those kind of two worlds. And I think that's partly what my mom likes about it too. I know she likes all those guys.
Their presence in the movie was one of my favorite things about the movie.
Absolutely. Yeah, for sure. Oliver Reed is really good in it. It's funny that he's like at any given line reading, you're like, he's several days away from his just exploding and dying. Because they were like you can't go out and drink, Oliver Reed, and he's like,
we're gonna have a problem.
Yeah, he's like, okay, I won't do that. He goes out and he gets wasted, and he literally just dropped dead. he just had a day of drinking and he just dropped dead. And they had to CGI him in, right? Did you notice that?
Well,
there's that. I mean, I know you knew that before, but like, did it stick out to you?
No, honestly, not really. The CGI Oliver Reed wasn't too.
Only if you're going to look for it. Yeah. It's really not too bad.
But his absence is felt.
Oh yeah,
because his name's Proximo.
Yeah,
and he was once a gladiator who fought for his freedom, and he kind of ends up being Russell Crowe's mentor.
Yeah,
when he sees that Russell Crowe can fight and he has like a soldier's background or whatever, he thinks he's a deserter. But then Commodus reinstates the gladiatorial games or something when he gets back to Rome to win the people
150
over.
days of games.
Yeah,
pretty sick.
So
can you imagine if President Trump?
Well, what kind of games are we talking about?
Oh, you don't want to know.
Esports?
The McDonald's games. I can't wait.
150 days of Joey Chestnut just demolishing people in eating competitions.
Yeah. Boxing Grimace.
Could be cool.
You have to kill Grimace in the ring.
But yeah, Oliver Reed's like, hey, Russell Crowe, we're going to go to Rome. This might be your chance to like win some freedom or whatever. And he has another great like classic Oliver Reed line where he goes, we will have bloody adventures, and the great whore will suckle us until she can suckle it no more.
Yeah, that's a great line. Yeah, all his stuff is really good.
He's my favorite part of the movie by far.
Yeah, easily. He's great.
But yeah, I don't know. I guess that's pretty much the plot. Everyone knows Gladiator. What are we?
Yeah,
doing
well,
here?
and then he fights for his freedom. He fights a bunch of fights, and then
he wins the crowd over.
He wins the crowd over, which is what Proximo tells him to do. And he cuts a guy's head off. That was like a huge thing for us young boys watching.
Yeah,
you see it like he like kind of puts the swords at X's on the guy's head, and cuts his head off, and the guy's head goes like kind of jumps up, like whoop, pop. Yeah, and I remember that being like that was like the big like, oh my god, I can't believe we just saw that, like I can't believe we just saw a guy's head get cut off.
You know what's great? Like there are images in this movie that I never forgot about, and that stuck with me throughout all these years. Like that one, not as much for me, but for when they first do a gladiator match, but in like Algeria, in like the rundown Coliseum, there's a person who's already in the ring, and they're like all waiting to go fight, and they're like chained to one another. Russell Crowe with Jimon Hunsu.
Yeah,
and there's a guy who's paired with like another big dude, but the smaller guy is afraid and pisses himself.
Oh yeah.
And then there's a dude on the outside. They're about to like enter the ring, and there's a guy already in the ring who's wearing like a big like goat head mask.
Yeah.
And swinging a giant mace. And then when they open the doors and come out there, some guy just gets clocked in the face with the mace immediately, and there's huge blood spray coming out of his mouth.
Yeah.
And that obviously left an impression on me as a kid, because like I still distinctly remember that shot, and you see it, and it's just like, yeah. But like as a kid, I was like, holy, that's violent. Like I was like, oh my god. I
think this is the funny sort of reality of this movie for people of our age, or around our age. Like our parents were really enamored of it, and it just being this like big budget Hollywood spectacle that like isn't bad. I don't think it's bad.
No, it's not bad.
I just don't find it particularly interesting for me personally. I see why it was a big deal, and as far as Oscar movies go, like
it was fun. It was fun that this won.
It is fun that this movie won. Yeah, because this movie is fun. Not necessarily like super engaging or anything like that, but it is a fun historical epic, But then for us, like it was this like, oh my god, this is like one of the first R-rated movies we're like allowed to watch.
Exactly, because it had all this acclaim and was like
and mainstream kind of acceptance, and it was a big mainstream huge hit, right?
Yeah.
And of vague cultural importance. So we were allowed to watch it rather than it being like a horror movie or a thriller or something or some other sort of genre style thing that is less like socially accepted or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Instead, it was a big gladiator movie, a big violent gladiator movie, which kind of, provides some of the thrills a young boy could.
When that person gets cut in half by the chariot.
Yep. Yeah,
that was a big deal. Yeah, that was a big deal.
That is probably my favorite gladiator sequence.
That's the craziest one. Yeah.
They're like recreating a battle with Hannibal, and they have the people playing the Romans on chariots and stuff. And Maximus uses his soldiers' knowledge from being a war general.
Major general knowledge, reporting for duty.
He, gets the gladiators to like enter a phalanx of shields and like tip one of the chariots over, so that even though they're playing the Huns or whoever Attila Hannibal fought for, they win or something, and it's an upset, right?
Yeah. Did you see that? This is the other famous thing you gotta look out for, right? Is like when one of the chariots tips over. There's a few tip overs, but when one of them tips over, you can see an like a oxygen tank, or like it's not an oxygen tank, but it's like a tank like of compressed gas, like that's on
That
the
caused
back of
it
the
to
chariot.
tip over.
No, that's like it's like driving the chariot.
Oh,
like
okay.
it's not supposed to be seen.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't notice that.
Oh yeah,
That's
it's funny.
fun.
It's clear as day. You just have to pause it. It's funny that they're this exists in the world before, like, or not before, but right at the same time as the like DVD, right? Even a VHS tape, you can pause and you can rewind or whatever. But with the clarity of DVD, like it's the kind of thing that I'm sure they were like, well, nowadays, they would probably catch it and just edit it out, right? But I guess they weren't really too concerned about it at the time. They're like, no one's going to notice it.
Yeah.
And
But
now
here they are.
Here they are. Yeah.
Their faces are red. That's probably my favorite Gladiator scene. That kind of leads way into that famous moment where Joaquin Phoenix steps down into the ring and is like, "Who are you?" And Russell Crowe's like, "My name is Gladiator."
My name is Gerard Butler.
Yeah.
Theseus. What's his name? Not Theseus.
Spartacus.
My name is Spartacus.
Leonidas.
My name is Leonidas Theseus Spartacus. You killed my father. Prepare to die.
He's wearing an MF Doom mask.
Yeah, he does wear it literally is the MF Doom mask. Did you know it literally is that mask?
Yeah. That's where MF Doom got it from.
It's literally that mask. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
I saw it last night and I was like, oh yeah, like I always forget it's literally that mask.
It's Doom.
It's just Doom, yeah.
Fucking mad villain over here.
I know. That's funny.
What is your name? Mad Villainius.
Villain get the money like curls. They just trying to get a nut like squirrels in his mad world. Land of milk and honey with the swirls, where reckless naked girls get necklaces of pearls.
Are you not entertained?
Up the town jeweler.
Are you not entertained?
Trying to sound cooler on the microphone known as the crown ruler.
Yeah.
Maximus Decimus Mad Villainius.
He could have included dialogue from this in one of the songs.
Yeah, true.
I don't know. I don't think he ever did though. It's all the old sci-fi stuff, the Fantastic Four stuff.
Yeah. and yeah, like it's a bit of a wonky plot. It's like, why doesn't at any point Joaquin Phoenix just kill this guy? And obviously it's because he has the people on his side or whatever, but like he's also the emperor. He could do whatever he wants. So he just tries to set up like more games for Maximus to lose, including Tiger Man. There's also a fun sequence. I think I remember watching the MTV Movie Awards and that winning Best Fight.
Sure. Yeah, there's I remember that being like, can you believe this? Like,
yeah.
There's one shot that looks really bad, and it's like a wider shot where the tiger is obviously not there, but is like, just like comes and like kind of tries to attack Russell Crowe, just from the side, and it looks like a piece of clip art. Like it looks really bad. Other than that, though, pretty fairly convincing. Obviously now in Gladiator II, like he's gonna fight all sorts of animals, and they're all gonna be fake, and and I'm sure it'll look better in one way and worse in another.
Yeah, we got to find time to see that, huh?
Gladiator 2?
Yeah.
Yeah, we have to go to the theater to watch it.
Yeah.
That'll be fun.
Is it doing the IMAX thing?
I don't know. Maybe. I have a feeling like it's going to be fun to watch.
Sure, yeah. Connie Nielsen's in this.
Yep.
I think she's fine. I think she's good.
Yep.
A little boy is in it who plays Lucius. I think he's fine. I think he's good.
A little boy who will grow up to be Paul Mescal.
Really?
I think so.
Oh, and I see.
Yeah, pretty sure.
Yes. Who else is in this?
Denzel Washington.
Denzel Washington was good.
Pedro Pascal.
Pedro Pascal was good.
Yeah, Paul Mescal.
Paul Mescal was good.
Yeah.
Oh, Tommy Flanagan is in it. He's like from one of your favorite films, Ratcatcher. He is like
Scar guy.
Scarface.
Yeah.
He got that in a horribly violent altercation.
Did he?
Yeah.
That sucks.
Yeah. But he plays one of Maximus's loyal soldiers, I guess. There's a whole sequence where they try to like help him escape, and it just kind of gets quashed completely.
Yes.
Did I mention this already? But you notice Oliver Reed's absence because like they're gonna set off. They've been spending a lot of time together, and then when they get to Rome, you don't see much of Proximo after that, you know?
No.
They have like a few key scenes or whatever where like
he gets assassinated at the end.
He gets assassinated because he agrees to help Maximus escape or whatever. But everything gets quashed. Everyone dies. Joaquin Phoenix is creepily incestuous towards his sister, Connie Nielsen.
Yeah.
And then that's when he's like, okay, the only way I can legally dispatch of this guy is to fighting him one-on-one combat with the Emperor of Rome.
There's got to be a better way.
and even with like the handicap of stabbing him in the back before the fight, obviously Maximus is Giga Chad and wins.
Yeah.
Slaughters this beta.
We do see a early scene like at the beginning of the movie where Joaquin Phoenix is training to fight, and he's good.
Yeah.
So you know he's competent at least.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's no chance. It's such a bad idea.
and then it's like, you know, they're both dead, but then the crowd stands up as they like carry Maximus out, and they just leave like Commodus in the sand or whatever.
Yeah,
because they hated him. They didn't like him, but although they did kind of love him for instating these 150 days of games.
The crowd is very fickle.
The crowd is fickle in Rome. And, you know, like, it's just one of those movies where it's like everyone's sucking Russell Crowe's dick. You know what I mean? They're like, oh, he was such a good guy. He was such a great guy. Like,
yeah.
He was the best warrior. He was so smart. He was woke. He was empathetic.
He was woke.
He was woke to being a conqueror.
Yeah.
R.I.P. Maximus Decimus Meridius, you know? And,
yep.
And everyone... It worked. Everyone ate it up. He won the Oscar.
Yeah, he ate. Russell Crowe ate in this movie.
He ate.
Yeah,
he eats.
That's so true.
Let him eat. Let him cook.
Yeah, anyway, let's fucking rate it. I don't give a shit.
I feel like people are going to be pissed that we didn't like...
we didn't talk about Gladiator.
We didn't give it like a
proper shake.
A proper analysis. But
I'm sorry.
We're the wrong people for the job.
Right today we are. Like, I don't know. I just am tired. We should have just we shouldn't have recorded.
I don't know.
We should have delayed it. We should have just waited.
I don't know if it would have made a difference. I don't feel like I have that much to say about Gladiator.
I don't think I have much to say about it either, but I would have had more energy maybe.
I think it's interesting that it is what it is, and it did so well for itself. And it was influential, you know, because of it we got Troy.
Troy
and Ridley Scott's own Kingdom of Heaven, which I still haven't seen.
Well, I think also one of the more influential things too, it seems, is like I'm sure there were many scores before this that had that, but this like the kind of the Hans Zimmer kind of choral vocal like
for like anything remotely Middle Eastern,
or even anything in the past, anything epic, anything at all, any excuse to have it,
just
like
vocal melismas.
Yeah, this feels like one of the key of those Hans Zimmer like tracks, you know.
Yeah. Obnoxious score.
It is obnoxious.
I don't like it.
No, I don't like it either.
They played the main piece from it at that Toronto Symphony Orchestra thing.
We walked out.
Yeah, we did. We were like, enough of this. We sat on our hands and then we walked out.
Yeah.
I much prefer the Pirates of the Caribbean score.
Me too.
It's kind of got a similar like main motif, but it's
there's
better.
A couple of points where I thought it was Pirates of the Caribbean. Yeah.
I wish that it was.
Dun 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 dun. There's a few points like that in both of them. Anyway, let's Joe.
Yeah, okay. You know, at the end of the Gladiator match, it either gets a thumbs up or a thumbs down.
Well, I'm gonna give this. I'm gonna wave my thumb in the air a little bit to see what the crowd is thinking.
Yeah.
Before I give it a thumbs up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I too am giving it a crowd influenced thumbs up.
Yeah.
Because like you said, it's not bad.
No, it's fine.
It's fun.
It's fun. It just doesn't do much for me personally. And I am open to the idea of Gladiator 2 being better.
Wow. Yeah.
Right?
Maybe.
Yeah.
We're going to be watching it the way Marcus Aurelius, Richard Foster Jenkins,
Florence Foster Jenkins,
is watching the battle at the beginning. He's just kind of off on a horse on the side, and it looks like he's like almost like coming. He's just like, his like eyes roll back a bit. Yeah. It's gonna be us in the theater at Gladiator 2.
That's gonna be us. Yeah, come assassinate us.
All right, how should we do it? How should we end our lives?
Well, how about
I might jump off this balcony.
you could, okay, so you'll jump off the balcony.
Yeah.
That's smart. I think in honor of Gladiator, you'll take your 2 ceremonial swords that you have hanging up above your bed.
These ones?
Yep. And put them in the X on formation on my head and then cut my head off in one swift motion. And then you can run and jump off the balcony.
I like that you think I have the forearm strength to decapitate you with 2 blades that easily.
I think you do. I think you do. I think they're really sharp, and I think you could do it.
And you have a very supple neck.
Yes.
Yeah.
I've been buttering it up for you.
All
Okay,
right.
go ahead.
Swing!
Oh, my head is off my body, but I still have a few minutes to live. Oh, heaven is real. Yay. Hooray. Yay. Oh, you should all kill yourselves. Heaven is real. Heaven is real. Yay. Goodbye.
Do that, and I was watching that and thinking, waist deep in wheat. Right, there's the opening shot of the movie. Waist deep in wheat.